Alright, y'all. We finna try something different. YouTube, this is fair use, and we're gonna get right into this video.
It's no secret that some of the greatest queens from the African continent come from Nubia. Nubia just seems to be a homeland for great African women. Perhaps the symbolic power of the matrilineal system in Nubia gave women a unique confidence. Whatever the reason, one of Egypt's greatest queens is said to have come from Nubia.
One of Egyptians' greatest queens have came from Nubia. You see, these Nubian queens have something that these American women don't possess, which is confidence. Let's carry on.
What up, African world? It's Home Team here, and I'm back at it with another video of African history, culture, and worldview. And as always, if you want to support the Home Team, you can do so on Patreon.com.
Go support the brother. Go support him on Patreon.
Sure, check that out. Also, go to Afrographics.com, a website where you can find unique illustrated
Afrographics. Go fuck with it.
African history. All links to Patreon, Afrographics, and Home Team merchandise are in the description box below. Now, I'd be careless if I didn't mention that some scholars aren't exactly sure if Queen Tiye was actually of Nubian extraction, but the general consensus does seem to support this claim.
Queen Tiye, spelled Tiye, one of the ladies who went against the Roman Empire and actually won the battle.
As most scholars agree, that Queen Tiye was not a native Egyptian, and since Africans from further south played many roles throughout Egyptian society, it's more likely that Queen Tiye descended from one of these various Nubian ethnic groups. Queen Tiye is not only one of the greatest queens of Africa, but she's amongst the greatest women in world history because of the power and influence she exerted during both her husband and son's rule. Tiye was the queen of Egypt during its most popular period, the 18th dynasty. She was the wife of Pharaoh Amenhotep III, the mother of Akhenaten, and the grandmother of King Tut. Besides the customary titles for a queen like hereditary princess, lady of the two lands, king's wife, or great king's wife, Tiye was also known as mistress of Upper and Lower Egypt and mistress of the two lands. Her father was said to be a man named Uya and her mother, Tajuya, and even though she didn't come from royalty, her family was still highly regarded in Egypt. She even grew up in the royal palace due to her mother's position as a servant to the queen mother. However, some claim that she wasn't a servant but a high priestess of...
Pause. Now, these women, as they said, were of a royal stature. You feel me? They're going to tell you how these women would go and fight for their men, fight for their African kings. You understand what I'm saying? These are the real women that these women want to be. These are the true queens right here. I want y'all to pay attention. Queen Tiye, Egyptian Empire. Let's continue. Fair use.
Considerable power. Her father was said to have been master of the charioteers and was greatly respected. Either way, Tiye had access to the royal house and her family enjoyed an elevated status.
Royalty.
Thus, Tiye made a great candidate for marriage for the young Amenhotep III. Upon the ascension of the throne by Amenhotep III, Queen Tiye also came to power. Tiye ruled with the same authority as a man and exercised her power in equal measure with the great kings of the ancient world. From the onset, Queen Tiye was a significant force at court. Margaret Bunsen, one of the primary scholars on ancient Egyptian history, says that Queen Tiye was intelligent and diligent, and the first...
Intelligent and diligent. Now, how many of these American women say that they're intelligent and diligent? Diligent means she's able to, adapt to her environment. A lot of these women can't adapt to their environments, but they're saying they're queens. Come on.
Queen of Egypt to have her name on official acts, even on the announcement of the king's marriage to a foreign princess. The Amarna letters proves that Queen Tiye was highly regarded even amongst foreign rulers as she communicated with them directly.
She was highly regarded. This means that You know, she was respected. You know, the African kings of the nation were with these Nubian queens, and they were of royal stature, and they were intelligent and half diligent, and was put in high regards because of their obedience. Fair use. Carry on.
Rare and virtually non-existent occurrence. She presided at festivals, met with foreign dignitaries in person, and even directed both domestic and foreign policies on numerous occasions. For a foreign ruler to openly communicate with another ruler's wife concerning affairs of the state is certainly impressive. Not only did it show the great respect Egypt had for her, but it also showed the respect other foreign nations had for her as well.
She had great respect.
Cartouche, like that of any other Egyptian king, signifying her importance.
Like a statue.
The royal couple presented a united front in dealing with domestic and foreign policies, as mentioned before.
Now, this woman has a whole statue made of her. How many of the American women are worth building a statue for? You see, this woman respected the king so much, they made her a statue. How many of y'all American women thinking y'all going to get a statue of Queen Tiye? You're not going to do it. This is what a woman is. This is royalty. This is a real queen of obedience, diligence, and intelligence. Now, hold on. Let's carry on. Fair use.
And the reign of Queen Tiye and her husband is considered a high point in Egyptian history. Her husband honored her greatly, and it's clear that he
honored her greatly
as equal, as she's depicted in statuary as the same height as him. This is in stark contrast.
She was depicted as his equal. You see what I'm saying? But why was she depicted as his equal? Let's carry on. I'm going to tell you.
Contrast to other kings whose statues show them mounting over their wives, symbolizing their power. Another interesting fact is that Amenhotep III seemed to genuinely love and adore his wife.
Loved his wife.
Built her a new palace.
This man loved his wife. Built her a palace.
Also, for her pleasure, he made an immense lake dug in the desert for her. In addition to her royal status,
this is what you get for being obedient. You get statues built for you. You hoes ain't get none of this.
Her, as she was worshipped as a living form of the goddess Hathor.
She was worshipped.
Countless artwork depicting them together and enjoying everyday life began to revolutionize Egyptian art, which had previously been in serious decline. Scholars David O'Connor and Eric Clean have this to say regarding Queen Tiye. The unprecedented thing about Tiye is not where she came from, but what she became. No previous queen ever figured so prominently in her husband's lifetime. Tiye regularly appeared besides Amenhotep III in statuary, tomb and temple reliefs, and stela, while her name is paired with his on numerous small objects, such as vessels and jewelry, not to mention the large commemorative scarabs, where her name regularly follows his in the dateline. New elements in her portraiture, such as the addition of cow horns and sundis, attributes of the goddess Hathor, to her headdress and her representation in the form of a sphinx. And
a representation of the form of the sphinx. You see, the sphinx was looked as a spirit guide. You feel me? She was held as, someone of higher stature. You understand? This is a real queen that we're talking about. We're talking about a real African queen. And the things that she did to be a queen was stand beside her man, and do what she had to do. And, the respect was given. But fair use, let's carry on.
The image formerly reserved for the king emphasized her role as the king's divine, as well as earthly partner. Amenhotep III built a temple to her in Tedinga in northern Sudan.
But the temple for her
as a form of Hathor. After her husband's death, her son, Amenhotep IV, also known as Akhenaten, took the throne. She then took on the title of king's mother. Even though Akhenaten really stirred up Egypt with his controversial religious reforms, even changing his name, Queen Tiye still seems to have supported her son throughout it all. Whatever she felt about his changes, her love for him overruled the power of religion itself.
Okay, look, so now her son is becoming the king. They're telling him about different religions and this and that, right? She just said that, listen, they're saying that no matter what decision her son made, she stood beside him. How many of our women, no matter what decision we make, are standing beside us? These are what real queens do. Real queens stand behind their sons, like they're saying. She's standing behind her son. She's standing behind her husband. You know, she's held in a high regard because she holds the men in a high regard. This is real royalty. This is hers. This is a statue built of her. You bitches would never have no statues like this. I want a real African queen. I don't want no GMO. I want the real thing. But let's carry on. Fair use.
Which is testament to her loyalty and her character.
Her loyalty.
She still exhibited an important role in the political sphere and continued correspondence with foreign rulers. What solidifies her legacy as a great queen and a great woman in the ancient world is how she directly influenced one of the most popular queens in world history. When you can essentially duplicate yourself and pass down knowledge and skill to someone else, your legend truly never dies. Queen Tiye's example is thought to have served as a model for her daughter-in-law, Queen Nefertiti. As Nefertiti,
she served for a model for her daughter-in-law, Nefertiti. She was a role model, showing her to respect the men, to respect her husbands, to respect your African heritage. And look at her. They say she was the perfect role model, exuding intelligence, you know. We have to be a role model for our future generation. A lot of our women nowadays are using their voice to say things to, conquer and divide our nation. But we're supposed to be one. You understand what I'm saying? I respect my queens. You understand what I'm saying? Real African heritage. You understand what I'm saying? She was a role model to her daughter. She was a role model to her people. She was inspirational. You have to be inspirational, ladies.
He enjoyed the same status as Tiye, served the court in the same capacity, and most importantly, took care of the affairs of state when her husband was occupied or distracted from his duties.
Took care.
Nefertiti's actions are no doubt a direct result of Queen Tiye's influence, and this is precisely why this Nubian Queen of Egypt is one of the greatest African queens in human history.
Great.
Well, I'm all out, guys. If you like these videos and want to help out in its continued production, please consider supporting the home team on Patreon.
Yeah, man, consider, yeah, man, I've been just showing y'all what real queens do, what a real African queen looks like, that's all.